In 2008, they began a series of cuts, and we're going to try to begin to rebuild that for them. So we will increase that funding. And 27.28.7, to increase the funds to assist training and employment support for Georgians with disabilities. This is very important money because it also allows for a large federal match of 1-4. So our investment here is very important. It will go into our community rehabilitation providers. Those are people who serve through Goodwill, Nobis, Bobby Dodd. They help those with disabilities develop a plan through a process of steps to develop skills and then be job ready and be hired. The next change in this department is at 27.28.8, which was to remove one-time funds for Friends of Disabled Adults and Children, FODAC, for equipment. That was to purchase a van. It was a one-time investment, so that is already taken care of. And then our final two fall under the Department of Veterans. 48.2.6, reflecting the transfer of money from Georgia War Veterans Nursing Home to cover one-time expenses for cemetery expansion. We are saying no because we did this actually in the 2015 amended. So that is reflecting work that's already been taken care of. And then 48.3.5, which is to transfer those funds. And that is back and forth between those two, actually. So in essence, what we're doing is it was to take out of nursing homes and add to the cemetery money. We took care of the cemetery money in 2015, and so now those beds will be taken care of internally using funds that already exist. Those are the changes that we have. Are there any questions from the committee? Thank you. Not seeing any. We have a motion to do pass. Is there a second?
Second.
There are seconds everywhere, and I thank you for that so very much. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed by like sign. Thank you so much for your work.
Elma, do you mind closing the door? Thank you. I'm not asking you to be the doorkeeper, just close the door. Thank you. Thanks. Good morning, and I appreciate everybody being here so early, and I just want to say how much I appreciate all the work that my committee has done on this and how they've really dug their heels in. And I don't think I've ever worked with a group of people that's been so involved, and I want to thank Tracy. Tracy has worked so hard to find some of the concerns and answer some of the concerns, and I think you'll be pleased. Tracy has relayed a lot of our concerns to the chairman, and Chairman England and Martha Rigdon have worked with Tracy, and I think y'all be pleased with some of the concerns that you had that they have tried to answer. So if everybody will get their tracking sheet, and I'm just going to go over the differences, okay? And just the differences. The first section is the Department of Agriculture. The first change is 13.2.5, increase funds for personal service to provide consumer protection inspector salary adjustment, $260,000. 13.2.6 is to provide funds for 2 manufactured food inspectors positions and 1 seed scientist position, $211,000. Representative Cook, did you get a tracking sheet? The next change is on page 2 under Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Administration. You're going to see a lot of changes on that, so we've been transferring money and transferring it in, so just sort of follow along. The first change, and this is in agriculture, 13.8.4, is to transfer funds and 8 positions from Soil and Water Conservation Commission, $724,000 plus dollars. 13.8.5 to reduce personal service and transfer consolidated services to the Conservation Water Program, $46,000, and the Conservation Water and Soil Resource Programs, $255,000 plus, for an increase in regional conservation district allotments. What we do, and we realized when we changed this to an attached agency, we saved over $302,000. And so what we're doing is the agriculture water program needed some money, and so we're giving we're allotting them, not giving it to them, $46,000. And then we're taking these regional commissions in water and soil have just been really trying to reduce on a shoestring. So we're taking some of the money from central office and putting it down to the local level. 13.9.4, transfer of funds in 10 positions from Soil and Water Conservation Commission, and it's another $240,000, and utilize consolidated services from administration to increase the allotments to regional water conservation districts, $46,000. 13.10.4 is transfer of funds in 31 positions to the attached agency from Soil and Water Conservation Commission, $1,422,000 plus. 13.10.5, utilize consolidated savings from administration to increase the allotments for water and soil and water regional conservation districts, $255,000 plus. And the next change will be in Department of Community Affairs. 16.2.4, increase funds for environmental program activities, $50,000. The next change is 16.12.1, and this is the payment to Georgia Environmental Finance Authority provide funds for Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District, $500,000. This is something that was brought to our attention afterwards. It's more of the fight for the water court things. Payment to the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority, reduced funds to meet projected expenditures, $872,000. And then we'll go all the way over to economic development, 22.8.5. Transfer funds from Georgia Regional Alliance contract for marketing to increase Georgia tourism. The governor had said $750,000, and we said $100,000. And you notice y'all had other things that y'all wanted to do with the money, and you'll see it placed other places that y'all recommended. 25.1.5 under forestry, utilize existing funds of $48,000 to implement the winter weather task force recommendation. We said yes. Forest management, 25.2.4, to provide funds for the final installment of employee retention salary adjustments for foresters and forester inventory analyst personnel, $131,000 plus. Then there's another installment we made to retain employees in forestry, 25.3.4, provide funds for the final installment of employee retainment salary adjustments for rangers and chief rangers, $1,711,000 plus. And we've talked about so much how we're having trouble retaining people in forestry, and we hope this stops the bleeding, because we're spending so much to train people, and by the time we get them trained, the salaries are so low that they're going somewhere else, and it's really costing us a lot training them, and maybe this will stop some of the bleeding. 39.1.4, provide partial one-time funds for IT purchases. I'm sorry, this is the Public Service Commission. 39.1.4 is to provide one-time funds for IT. We're real lucky to have Mike Dudgeon in our committee, and he went over and he thinks they'll be able to do this for $100,000. 39.3.4, provide funds to annualize utility cost analyst for Plant Vogel project, $105,000. 39.3.5 to provide funds for personnel service for energy efficient renewable energy section of analysts, $105,000. As you know, we're aware we just passed a bill about solar energy, and it's going to require more people. Soil and water conservation. All these changes on soil and water conservation, you'll see the things that are that were transferred into agriculture. You will note on this page, on page 11, we're transferring them out of soil and water to a standalone agency. And all these changes are money that were reflected back into the Department of Agriculture. Would y'all like me to go over those, or can you see where we did the changes? The last one, what now? Okay. Then on 43.4.1, is that what you're talking about? No, the last three. 43.3.1, trans funds in 30 positions from the department. We did that. We said yes on that. The next one, 43.4, transfer funds to Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Natural Resource. We said yes, $98,000. 43.5.1, transfer funds to the Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Natural Resource, at $133,000 plus. We said yes. Department of Transportation, and this is something that the committee really wanted to put some more funds in transportation, and I appreciate Tracy and them working hard to find these extra funds. 47.3.2, recognize prior year motor fuel funds, $3,500,000. That's in construction admin. 47.4.2, recognize prior year motor fuel funds, $233,000. Department of Administration, 47.5.2, recognize prior year motor funds, $238,000. Intermodal, 47.6.4. It said reduce funds for airport aid grants, and we said no to that. And we did not cut the intermodal by $5 million. We increased it by $250,000, and we left the $5 million in there. We didn't cut it. We increased it by $250,000. If you turn over to payments to the state toll road and toll authority, I'll get it straight. Okay, 47.12.2. Utilize existing funds of 700.6 plus in Georgia Transfer Infrastructure Bank for debt service. No, we said no. To provide new funds of 170. Provide new funds of 7.6 plus million for the Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank. And we're not taking the money out of that. We're providing new funds for that. And I think that should make some people happy, because utilize existing funds for old debt. On 47.12.3, we said no, to use new funds for that. And you can see where on 47.12.2 we put in 7.6 million, and 47.1.12 we put in 100.9 million. 47.12.4, the General Assembly finds that at least 20% of the Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank funds should be utilized for qualified applicants in Tier 1 and 2 tier counties. If there's not enough qualified applicants in Tier 1 and 2 tier counties, the remainder of the 25% may be awarded to qualified applicants. And we said yes. Then that's it. Do I have any questions? Okay. What number is that? Oh, 6. Who's 6? Oh, okay. Oh, wrong one. Wrong 6. Was that Jay? Is that you?
That's me, Madam Chair.
Judging.
I just wanted to say thank you for finding, it looks like about $15 million in transportation. I think our committee did a great job inside our world. In my ideal world, the bigger picture budget for 16 would have had significantly more money, but that was outside of our purview. So I wanted to say thanks for finding what we did, but I wish we had more. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to pass?
Second.
Who made the motion? Motion by Ed Reiner. I have second. Second by Nimmer. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Thank you, and thank you for y'all's work. What I said, wait, we have a question by the chairman of agriculture. No, not agriculture, of transportation. Excuse me. Oh, how can I forget that he's transportation?
I was just going to say, isn't it true that by us moving that money into airport aid, we will maximize 100% of the dollars we can draw down from the federal government?
Thank you. That's true. That is very true. Mr.